MPs have called for an end to single-word Ofsted grades for school inspections. It comes after the death of primary school head teacher Ruth Perry. Ruth took her own life after an Ofsted inspection in 2022, which graded her school as inadequate. Well, earlier this month, Ofsted apologised for its role in Ruth's death. The school has since been regraded as good. Well, Ruth's sister, Julia Waters, joins me now in the studio. Julia, thank you so much for coming in to talk to us. You've been a force to be reckoned with on behalf of your sister to try and effect change. First of all, I want to talk about Ruth. You saw firsthand what the Ofsted inspection system did to her. She unravelled before your eyes. Can you give me an idea of what she was going through before she took her own life, Julia?
Well, you just said that I'm a force to be reckoned with. Ruth was my sister. We were quite similar. You know, she was, and one of her colleagues described her as a tough cookie. You know, she's quite resilient. She was very experienced. She was very well respected. And that Ofsted inspection just completely destroyed her. It was instant, really, both during and then after the inspection, and the long, long, long wait she had all over the Christmas holiday, still waiting for the report to come out and not being able to share the judgment with anybody else because Ofsted forbade it. It just corroded her. You could sort of see her whole sort of sense of being, unravelling, you used that word. It was like that, and there was nothing we could do, try as we might, to put it right. The harm had been done, and then there weren't structures in place to support her and help her from the people who might have been able to do that.
Julia, there's been a lot of concentration on this one-word grading, and for those who aren't aware, Ruth's primary school had the highest rating, and then in that one inspection went to the lowest. And you talk there about the fact that she knew before she could tell any of her employees, any of the parents, that this had happened, and that was part of the Ofsted system. That's the way it was. And to appeal an Ofsted decision is a very complicated, not weighted in favour of the school kind of process. The Education Committee has been taking a look at this, and they've said more action is needed. But there is widespread and deep concern about the inspection system. So much focus on this one-word grading, but there's more to it than that, isn't there?
Oh, there's so much more, and the report highlights that as well. The one-word judgment is the most obvious manifestation of a deeply flawed system. And it's the thing that everybody sort of hooks onto. It's the thing that up till now the government has been absolutely categorical they won't shift on. And it's the thing that's used to divide people. So this to set up this fake division between parents on the one hand and teachers on the other, teachers' welfare on one hand and children's welfare on the other, when we're all concerned about the same things. Parents want the best for their children, teachers and head teachers want the best for the children in their schools, and teachers and head teachers' welfare is inseparable from the welfare of the pupils whom they teach and take care of. So the word being used as this sort of lazy throwaway thing that, it's useful for parents. It's inaccurate.
But also what I didn't realise is if you get the lowest rating, whatever that issue is, it could be sorted out within a couple of months before the actual grading is published. But the Ofsted system doesn't allow for that wiggle room.
Or didn't. I mean, that's one of the things. I think it's a significant change that the report says that you should only get inadequate if a school is fundamentally failing to keep children safe, which was manifestly not the case at Caversham Primary School. There were issues around paperwork, and that was enough.
Well, Ofsted have apologised. They have a new chief, Sir Martin Oliver. Has he reached out to you?
Yeah, I've had a meeting. I've had a long meeting and email exchanges and promises of further meetings.
Do you feel you're being listened to?
Yeah, definitely. I think the major difference between him and his predecessor that should reassure the teaching profession is that he was a teacher and a head teacher himself. He's been on the receiving end of Ofsted inspections, both good and bad. And he seems genuinely committed to change, says that's why he took on the role. So yes, I had a almost 3-hour meeting with him. He listened to my concerns. He said my list of concerns were similar to his list of concerns, which actually is similar to the list of concerns in the Parliamentary Inquiry report that came out today.
Yeah, because Ofsted said, you know, they're going to give these recommendations careful consideration. And from the discussions you've had, you believe, you know, from what you've heard from them, that they're going to take it seriously. All of us know a teacher. All of us have had that conversation with a teacher about, I've got an Ofsted inspection next week, they're working over the weekend, prepping. We've seen the stress. We perhaps don't understand it unless we're in it or we're living with someone going through it. But after Ruth's death, you had so many people reach out to you detailing similar experiences, and it harks back to this system, you know, that the Education Committee said there is widespread and deep concern. What have teachers been saying to you?
Well, one of the words that the Education Select Committee picked up on that was recurrent in their conversations with teachers was terror. I mean, actually, terror. It's not just, a little bit of mild stress and anxiety, terror at Ofsted. Yeah, I've been contacted by hundreds of teachers and head teachers, but it's particularly the head teachers. You know, the head teacher is responsible, has a duty of care to his or her employees, his or her employees, the rest of the members of staff, which is not to say that Ofsted isn't stressful for all staff. It really is. But who's looking after the head teacher? You know, they're in this very vulnerable and isolated position at the top of a school with the parents looking to them, the local community looking to them, their staff looking to them, their name over the door of the school, their name on the Ofsted report. You know, my sister felt deeply, deeply, deeply responsible for that judgment. And there was no one really looking out for her and really able to give her the support she needed and the reassurance she needed that she was a great teacher and a great head teacher and, you know, she would always have a role in the local authority or whatever. No, she was terrified she was going to lose her job, which has been one of the sort of almost automatic, likely consequences of an inadequate or two requires improvement judgments. And that's another thing that the report picks up on as not right. It's too high stakes. You shouldn't live in fear of losing your job on the basis of a 2-day inspection.
Yeah. As you said, terror amongst teachers in so many cases for Ofsted reports, and you raise a really good question, who's looking after the teachers, particularly head teachers? Julia, thank you so much pushing this on your sister's behalf. We're so sorry for your loss, but thank you so much for speaking up on behalf of your sister and for other teachers. Thank you. Really appreciate your time.